friends, today is 17th of August and it's a pleasant night. Last night it rained a lot and my pots are all fully wet and watered. It's 17th of August and it's time to start some seedlings of some of the fall veggies, and today I have decided to start up with red cabbage, kale, broccoli, and I will definitely try cherry fall tomato. Let's see how it shows up. Now I have prepared my two seedling trays. This is basically a big seedling tray with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 by 10 seedling holes, which I have cut from the middle because it was difficult for me to manage a bigger seedling tray. Now it's simple. I have used homemade compost and some coco peat. I have not added any soil in this, any seedling mix from the market. It's all homemade compost from my kitchen trash and my dry leaves and some of the peat moss. Now peat moss helps in plant seedling germination, and compost is going to provide them instant energy and hopefully they'll show good results. So I'll start with red cabbage, and for that I will just poke some very small holes with the help of this back of the brush, and I am just going to sow one seed per seedling hole. Now I'm going to use 3 into 5, 15 seedling holes in that, and I'm just going to pick one seed and will just drop in my hole, and this is what I'm going to do with the rest. Now the seeds are very tiny and they are not bigger than a mustard seed, so you need to be a little careful while placing them. However, if you try to insert 2 per hole, that is equally fine, because that's going to help you check whether any one of the seeds germinated or not, and if one of them germinated, you can just trim the other off, and that's going to I'll be doing it with, that's it, and I'm just going to put these 2 back. And this is my red cabbage seeds. I'm just going to use my brush and will move the soil on top of it to cover the hole, and I'll do this very gently. I'm not pushing my seed any far. Ryan, can you give the close up here? It's a bit dark actually because of the humid and hot weather. It's more of humid than it's hot, and that is the reason I'm not doing seedling during the daytime, and it's better. And this is how I have, and I'm just going to gently press it so that there are no air pockets. And I'm doing it gently, I'm not pressing hard. Now the most important thing is to place the tag, because I usually forget what I have planted. So I'm just going to quickly write red cabbage, and today is 17th of August, and I am just putting this here so that I know that I have used 3 of my trays. Now I am going to use these rest of the seed holes, seedling holes, for my cherry fall tomato. Now, I've ordered these online. I actually do not remember the site from where I ordered, and there are very few seeds in this, and I am going to take out only 6, and one I have dropped here, which I'm going to just lift. And I think I have lost it. It's here, and I have placed it here. Now I'll do the same thing here. I'll just poke smaller holes. I'm not going to poke bigger holes in this. And I'm going to drop, usually it's 2 seeds per hole, but I'm going to be a little miser now, and I'm just going to gently press this on top. That's it. Now that's it. That's it. And I'll put one here. I'm going to cover it up, and I'm just going to check for more if there are more. There are actually very less seeds. However, shop where I ordered these from had a little guarantee that these are definitely going to sprout, but still, as I have forgotten where I've bought these, I don't know whether I'm going to ask them. Anyways, it's fine. Hopefully there'll be good chances. And that's it. Now today the video courtesy is with Rayan Nadeem, and I've requested him because my video iPod, or you can say the stand pod, usually shakes, and I have requested Rayan to help me out with this video. So thank you, Rayan. Now that's it, and I am going to label it right away before I forget. Cherry fall. Tomatoes. And today is 17th of August. Now it's time to water these, and again I'll be using my gentle sprayer to water my seedlings. It's time to sow some hybrid broccoli F1 seeds. I'm going to use these 6 holes for my broccoli, and I'll do the same. I'll just poke small holes in my soil and will insert the seeds and will cover them gently. More or less, most of the seeds are sown in similar ways. However, you need to be a little careful about whether your seeds are hardy or they are very fragile. You need to see whether these seedlings can be transplanted, or you have to sow the seeds directly. So there are various, strategies where you study, work out, practice, experience, and then you get to know. There are no hard and fast rules as such. However, you need to have a green thumb. That is the most important thing. And you need to love and care for your plants. That is, again, very important. So I'm just, mixing it and pressing it a little side by side. And that's it. It's one seed per hole. I'm sorry for the light quality in my garden. There are options, but I simply cannot move away from this rack because there is no other way I can put my stuff on. So these are my broccoli seeds, and in the rest of the I will be doing some kale. I already have some kale ready here, but which is quite good, and I might be transplanting it in bigger pots today. But just for the succession gardening, it's better to always have some plants ready with you. So by the time I'm done with that kale, or maybe if the transplant doesn't get successful, I think I should be having some of the kale seedlings with me. Now what I'm going to do with this kale is I am going to just move a little soil from the center, and I will sow some of my seeds and will push the soil back. Oops. And I'm going to sow only 2 seeds per container, or it could be 3 per container and not more than that, because I do not want to waste my seeds. And I'm going to gently move the soil back on top of the seeds, and will press it a little so that the seeds are supported well with the soil. Now these kale seeds I have gotten from USA. However, I have seen the variety here as well in the local shops, and I am sure they'll be equally good. And that's it, dear friends. This is how I'm patting a little. I'm not pressing it hard. I'm just tapping the containers slightly so that the soil does not dislocate the seed when we water them. Now these are the seeds which I am going to put back in my, and these are basically dwarf blue curled weights variety of kale. Now I will be putting the tag now. This is the tag for the kale plants seedlings, and again the same thing, light shower. And that's it, dear friends. Now I am going to keep these somewhere in the shade for a day or two, and then once the seedlings appear and the true leaves appear, I will move them to the better location. I'll shift my kale seedlings in some smaller pot, some bigger pots. Just wait for me and I'll be back. Now these are my kale seedlings, and I'll be shifting only the 2 to 3 bigger seedlings which are going good, and I'll move a little soil around these. I will poke some hole in my container, and that's going to be a little deeper, and I'll shift my seedlings carefully. Now these two are doing good, and they need some supporting ground, so I have just poked in here, press the soil around it to support it, and that's it. Now these seedlings are not very healthy, and there are little chances that they survive. However, I'm not going to waste them, and I'm just going to poke them in to see whether they're doing good. They will do good, and they're not just one but a few seedlings which I have planted together. And this is not fine. So I'll be poking it back in there. And I'm just adjusting the soil. There are better options, however, if I don't use these and I move the other ones. So let's see how they do. Now this is my container which is empty too. And let me see how it does. And I'll be looking for some healthy seedling. That's it. This is a good one. Now I'll be wasting this one, and I'll okay, so here I am ready with the pot, and that's it. Now these two seedlings seem better than the one which I planted here, which I doubt that it's going to survive. However, these two are fine, and in a day or two I will be shifting the rest of them as well. Now again, to water my seedlings, I have to use a gentle spray. Although it doesn't seem to be raining at night, however, I have to be a little careful about my seedlings. Now, the next thing is to shift my sponge gourd. Now, dear friends, I have some space in my already set up containers, and I'll be using the same to transplant my these two pots are ready with really good soil, and I'll be shifting my sponge gourd seedlings in these two pots. Let me do a little forking here because I don't want my seedlings to die. And I am turning this container and see how beautiful roots have developed, and I think I should not be shifting them out separately. I'll just make some division. Look at the beautiful root system. I'll be quickly poking this in this soil. Here, gently moving these plants. Push the soil around and will cover the roots beautifully so that now the other plants, this is the second bunch which I am going to shift here. Dear friends, I'm not separating each seedling. There is a reason, as the weather is really humid and I don't want my very healthily developed seedlings to disturb and die. So I'm just pressing around with the bunch of seedlings which I have saved. Now this bottle gourd, round gourd is doing fine, so I'm not going to disturb this. However, this plant has some, this basil has some room and the soil is very healthy, so I think this is a better option if I plant some of my seedlings here, and for that I'll be disturbing my plants, my seedlings, with the hope that they won't die. They are entangled, so I need to be very, very careful shifting them. This one is a little healthier. I'm going to keep it aside, and these I'm going to plant here in this corner. Now they'll be watered, and once they settle well, I'll be giving them some fertilizer in a day or two so that they get some good food. Now this last one is left, which I am going to look for a better roam, and I think if I can just poke it in here, this is a better option because this has just one marigold net, and I think I'm going to bury it deep so that my seedlings catch the root fairly well. This soil is a little lumpy. I am scared, but I have no other option right now. Okay, I have changed my mind, and I'll be moving this out because I think that my soil is a little lumpy and I don't want to test my seedlings. I have left this one seedling here, which I have supported with my little stem, and the rest I am going to put in some drier soil, which I think I have to hunt for in my garden, and I think this is a better option. This pot has less soil in it, however I am going to put some fresh compost. This is my fresh and two of the bunches are fine to give this spot a good support. And I'm done. I'm just going to fill in the gaps and the air pockets so that my plant does not lose the soil. Okay, I'm just going to water these. Okay dear friends, I'm just watering these and I'll show them to you in the morning. I think the poor video quality is ruining the entire program. So let's have a look at the plants in the morning.